Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. And today we are talking about a question that kind of stirs controversy just a little bit. And that is it safe? Is it right? Is it practical? Is it smart to carry a 22 long rifle handgun or any type of firearm that's chambered in 22 long rifle as an EDC option? So a lot of people laugh at the idea, but is it really that bad? So let's talk about some things that the 22 long rifle offers and some things you probably want to know before considering to carry the 22 long rifle as your EDC. All right, first and foremost, what does EDC stand for? EDC stands for everyday carry. And when we're talking about everyday carry, we're talking about the concealed carry for protection, consistency, and for comfort. So I personally carry a Glock 43X as my everyday carry, but like we're talking about in this video today, is it possible or even practical to carry something like a 22 long rifle? So this is my FN 502. It is chambered in 22 long rifle, and this is what that caliber looks like. Very small. And this particular 22 long rifle has a 10 round mag, and it also has a 15 round mag. And when we're talking about a 22 long rifle, it is very easy to load the mags. The slide is easy to rack, all that good stuff we'll get into. But the 22 long rifle is a very fundamental first time shooter platform. So again, EDC everyday carry. Should you carry it as an EDC? We're going to talk about it. So the pros of carrying a 22 long rifle. It has low recoil, so better control for faster follow-up shots. As you will see when I get ready to shoot it, when you shoot it, you don't really anticipate any recoil because it's almost like it's not even there. It's there, but not really when you start shooting. 22 long rifles are also lightweight, compact guns, especially the handguns. I think right now the only thing that's making this gun heavy right now is this old light that I have on here. If I was to take the old light off, this will be such a light gun. Even my children can handle this gun. Even elderly people can handle this gun with no issues, which makes this a very affordable option for people who are recoil sensitive. So if you don't really like the kickback of guns, or you're afraid of it, or that's not your thing with guns, 22 long rifles are a good option for those people who are like sensitive to recoil. And lastly, as I mentioned earlier about the ammo is very affordable. You can get 22 long rifles so cheap. It's great for, especially if you're trying to come out and practice, and maybe you have like this is the FN 502, and maybe you have like the FN 509. This is a great platform to practice on without spending so much ammo, because the 22 long rifle are literally cents on the round. And using the platform that's similar to your actual EDC to practice is going to be a lot more affordable than to run 9mm rounds or 45 rounds or whatever your EDC round is. Now, let's get into the cons. The cons of the 22 long rifle is they have less stopping power. So when we're talking about this little bitty round here compared to like a 9mm or a 45 or 10mm, the stopping power on this one is not going to be as good, simply because of there's less powder, smaller round. It's not going to impact as much as a 9mm would. Another con is there are some reliability issues with the rimfire platform. I know from experience when I first started shooting 22s, because they are so cheap, they can be finicky. They cannot be reliable. Sometimes the gun will malfunction. If you've ever shot 22, you know that's one of the top things that happens is malfunctions, failure to eject, failure to feed. Just some things like that will happen. Now, if you get some more affordable premium ammo, that's probably not going to happen as often, but that is one of the things that 22 long rifle is known for. Another con is there could be some over penetration, but more than likely under penetration performance on the 22 long rifle. There are some concerns with that, simply because it's just, in my opinion, it's a plinking round. It's a round to take out some rodents and things like that. So you definitely want to do your research on your ammo just to figure out if it's going to over penetrate or if it's going to be good for whatever use you're having it for. Now, would I recommend having a 22 long rifle for your EDC or self-protection? I would say yes, simply because having something is better than having nothing. Now, would I carry a 22 long rifle today as an EDC? No, because I'm more acquainted with other platforms like the 9mm platform and my Glock 43X, which has a little bit more stopping power than the 22 long rifle. But if you're just now getting into guns, you're, like I said earlier, sensitive to recoil, I would say start out with the 22 long rifle. That way you have something to protect yourself, something to protect your loved ones, defend yourself, because as long as you get off the right shots and the right placement, the 22 long rifle will handle it for you. I also would recommend carrying high quality ammo. So as we talked about earlier, you want to make sure you get some ammo that you know is going to be reliable. That way, if you do make the decision to carry a 22 long rifle handgun, that your ammo is not something you're going to be worried about. You're not going to be worried about malfunctions. You're not going to be worried about if it overpenetrated or if it underpenetrated. You just want to do your research on that premium ammo if you decide to carry your 22 long rifle. I also want to stress how important it is to train with your 22 long rifle and train with anything that you decide to carry. Obviously, it's going to take some getting used to, especially if you're coming from shooting something with more stopping power, then you come to something with less stopping power. The recoil is going to be a little bit different. Handling the firearm might be a little bit different. So you make sure you train so that you know that you're going to be effective in the event that you have to use this in self-defense or to protect your loved ones. And then lastly, I would say choose the 22 long rifle if you know this is the gun that you can consistently conceal, consistently run. This is the best option for you. I'm saying if you cannot carry a 9mm or 45, just stick with what you can, because it's nothing like trying to carry something that you're not comfortable with. Because if you're not comfortable with it, how can you defend yourself with something you're not comfortable with? So I would definitely say train and make sure you are super comfortable with the 22 long rifle. Y'all, that's it. That's all there is to it. So right now, I just want to give y'all a few shots. We're going to run a few drills and show you how the 22 long rifle does work. Now, I do have a threaded barrel on here where I do run my Warlock 22 suppressor on here. In a EDC package or your carry situation, I don't know that having a suppressor on there will be concealable. It would be beneficial, but I don't know that it will be concealable, as most people do carry an appendix style, which is right in front of your 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, maybe even 2 o'clock, and trying to put a suppressor down there, probably not gonna work, especially if you're a guy. So today we're just gonna shoot it for a few drills unsuppressed, and then I'll show y'all what it looks like suppressed. All right, we are at 7 yards, and we're gonna do few rounds of a build drill. So a build drill is you're at 7 yards. You can either, I think you can draw from the holster, or you can start at low ready, and you're trying to put 6 shots in the A zone in under 2 seconds, I think it is, sub 2 seconds. So we're gonna see what we can do. Now, I will say this, when you're shooting a 22 long rifle, it's gonna be quicker, like I said earlier, to get follow-up shots off. And so we may not see too much of recoil happening here, or that slide jerking back and the gun flipping. We may not see too much of it, because that's just not how the 22 long rifle works. So make sure you're paying attention to how the slide is going back, and see what the muzzle is doing as we get ready to shoot. Let me just tell you what I have on this gun. So this is, again, the FN 502 with the Olight Valkyrie, or however you pronounce that, PL3 light on here. I also have the Siley Cobra X Pro on here, and that's all I got. I didn't really do too much to this gun because it's just for planking, rodents, having fun, training my kids with it. Oh, it has trigger freeze. So 213, they're all in the A. Let's go again. Oh, ran out of ammo. There's 2 in the C zone. Let's load back up. All right, let's try this again. Okay, all those were in the A, so 187. I haven't shot this gun in a minute. That trigger is something to get used to. All right, this time we are going to take the timer and shoot 2 shots to the body on 2 targets. I'm still at 7 yards, and we're gonna just try to shoot the A zone on both targets, 2 rounds to the body, and as quick as we can. Now, the reason why we're at 7 yards is because your threat usually happens anywhere between 3 to 7 yards, maybe 3 to 5. So you want to train with your EDC at those yardages because that's where it could most likely happen. Now, I am going to go back there and take I think it's 30-yard shot to see if we can hit on the target. But for right now, we're just going to train where it is more practical. I will say, that was 345 for 4 shots. Could be quicker. I do have suppressor height sights on this gun. It came with the gun, but that's due to the fact, like when I do put the suppressor on here, I can still use my iron sights when I'm shooting in case my red dot goes out. The iron sights are high enough where the suppressor, because the suppressor will be a little bit higher than the slide, I can still line my sights up and get a shot on target if I need to. All right, those are both in the A. Let's see if we can get faster than 345. All right, one of them is outside of the A, 226. Trigger freeze. 264. One is in the C. 247. 225. Let's see what we got. Yep, we can make it work. 238. All right, so everything is in the A zone except 2 of the C's on this first target. And my second target is probably like 5 yards away from the first target. All right, last drill we're gonna do is transition drill. I have 10 rounds in here. We're gonna do 1 shot to the body over here, and then we're gonna run and do 1 shot to the body over there. We're gonna do it a few rounds. You never know in the EDC situation or self-defense situation with your EDC if you're gonna have to move to hit a target. More than likely you will. I don't understand why we wanna come out here and train in one position. That's not realistic. It's not realistic at all. Your target's going to be moving or your threat is going to be moving. So that means you're going to have to move too. So we're going to take one shot to the body here, run, take 1 shot to the body and see what our time is looking like. .296. They're both in the A. Oops. 356. 311. 339. All right, these are the last ones right here. 312. All right, let's do 2 shots to the body. Transition. All right, here we go. .346. 348. 358. All right, 355, and I do have one in the C zone. All right, for good measure, I did come out to 30 yards. Want to see if we can hit our target at 30 yards. My dot is a little bright. I need to go down a little bit so I can see. I actually feel like I'm high. That was 5 shots. Let's go look. Okay, those are the 5 shots at 25 yards. I think that one was my first one. And then there's the rest. And I was aiming like over here. So let's go take those other 5 and see where they land. All right, the next 5. Ooh, I might have threw some of those, honestly. Yep, so there's only, actually there's 5 shots. And when I say I think I threw some, that's the one I saw. So at 25 yards, you can still be pretty accurate with your 22 long rifle. Just making sure shot placement is where it needs to be. And then your gun actually runs. You have the right premium ammo and all that. Before we go, let's put on the Hush Puppy. All right, let's hear how it sounds suppressed. Whew. Be a part of the suppressor gang. Be a part of the suppressor gang, because it ain't nothing like shooting a gun suppressed. All right, y'all, that's the video for today. EDCing a 22 long rifle. Y'all let me know if that's something you're gonna do. Let me know if you are actually doing this. I don't know anybody that's carrying a 22 long rifle as an EDC, but you might be watching right now. So let me know down in the comment section if you think it is practical to run a 22 long rifle for your EDC setup. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, like, comment, and share. Make sure y'all follow me on Instagram and on Facebook, where I will show a lot of things that I do out here at the range that I don't necessarily put right here on the channel. And until next time, stay armed, stay safe, and stay vigilant. Peace.